Hello, hello, and good evening to my personal diary. It is day number 32, and we have the 19th of October 2021. Um, as you can see, I I shaved. Um, or actually looked like 2 years younger without a beard. I just noticed. Um, So that's the one part I accomplished today. Accomplished. Um, I mean, to be fair, if you have like grown a little bit of a like solid beard, then shaving is actually a little bit time consuming, and you're always like, ah, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, and it's a little bit like cleaning up your room or something like that. In the end, it's always like, in hindsight, it's always like easy and not a big deal, but actually having done that, I think is a small accomplishment accomplishment in its own. Um, yeah, but nothing to talk about more, I think. The other thing I wanted to mention is my day on work kind of went really smooth. Um, I didn't really expect that, to be honest, because we had sort of a presentation in the morning, and I haven't had my all my things finished like 1 hour ago, 1 hour before the presentation, and then everything went so smooth, and we communicated pretty well internally, and took down the rest of what's left, and everyone sort of did their own thing, and we managed to get it just in time, basically. I mean, if we wouldn't have done it, it would not have been the end of the world. But actually getting there and like the results that you promised also delivered is always a good feeling. Right. And my third to do for today was to actually do a couple of rounds of washing, like laundry. I actually didn't do that because I had other things in mind. I'll come to that um, soon. The fourth thing I wanted to do was groceries, and I did that at least. So I basically had to do it. I was like a couple of hours ago, I was like at the verge of, do I order food now? I don't really want to go out anymore, but I managed to do it, and in the end, I think it's so underrated to get a little bit of fresh air every day because that's not normal for me. Like there are a couple of days where you just stay home the whole day, at least for me, because when you're working from home, it is what it is, right? If you have everything at home, I don't smoke, at least not anymore. Um, you can work from home, you don't have to go outside basically, and that's precisely what happens when you don't have it like specific to do. And when you don't go for a run. But getting those like couple of steps outside was actually kind of nice for today. Was really refreshing. And coming to what I wanted to mention, what I don't had in mind yesterday, didn't ha have in mind yesterday. I was I think I went to bed kind of frustrated. I think you already, like, you also heard it out of the last video, but more and more, I like got into that mood of I'm really not happy with the state I'm in right now regarding work. And I said yesterday that this would be like a to do for next week, since yeah, this week is stuffed with the motorbike sessions. But in the afternoon today, I was like, honestly, I mean, the next session is tomorrow. Why not just do it now? Um, at least like a little bit. And I got on to Xing. Xing is a German platform similar to LinkedIn. Um, and I mean, if you have a job that is like heavily demanded, you sort of get spammed on those platforms, and I don't really look into it too regularly. And I always felt like it was also some kind of scam, to be fair, because I think there are some offers that are really like scammy, or at least they appear really scammy and unprofessional. But I also noticed today that there are a couple of offers that are totally valid. Um, I even got some offers from like Xing recruiters directly. So apparently Xing has also recruiters in-house that just reference to other companies. Um, and I reached out to a like um, couple of guys who like also already messaged me a couple of weeks ago, and to be expected, they pretty much all responded instantly because like they're really desperate, I guess, in terms of human resource. Um, and I actually like got in touch with a specific one person who said, okay, let's just have a call at 5 o'clock. And I was like, "Ah, okay, sure." And we chatted a little bit on the phone, and it was actually really it from what she said, it felt really good. And they all like this was ensuring my feelings before. They all have salaries in the range that I like haven't dreamed before. Like, I mean, I can be transparent about this. I earn a little bit more than 50K per year at the moment, 50K euros that is. And I knew that this was like kind of low for what I work like for what I do, but I I like was like, okay, maybe like the average is like at 60, 65, something like that. And 70 would also already be like quite high. And I got offers today, like I think the minimum was 75, and like I heard numbers 85. So try to imagine that I'm currently working like, let's say 50K, and I'm getting offers for 85K. That is like, how much more is that? That is more than 50% more gross. That is. Not net value, I think, in the end, but gross. And like, imagine, I'm still a little bit baffled, to be honest, because like, if you don't see the money that you're losing because of a bad salary every month, you sort of forget about it. Like, even 60K, like even 10K per year, like it adds up pretty heavily. If you take those 10K more um, per year and just invest it. Pretend that you don't have it. After 3, 4 years, it's a huge amount of money. Like I would be in a totally different spot today if I would have earned that more money from the beginning. Obviously, there is still like the career and the ladder, right? But I mean, it's when you realize how much money you're losing on the street, you sort of like want to change something immediately, right? Pretend like get into like the situation yourself. You are having the chance to earn more than 50 more than 50% more for what you've like currently earning. That's I think that's totally insane. Like in all situations, if you're earning 30K and you're used to the lifestyle and the earnings and salary of 30K, and all of a sudden you get 45K or 50K, like a jump from 30 to 50K is pretty heavy, like a pretty reasonable jump that you sort of you sort of feel the impact immediately, right? So yeah, I'm not gonna stop. I I think I got in the right mood now to be really active about that and to actively search for a new job because I mean that's just not acceptable, honestly. That's just not acceptable. However you wanna like, I mean the excuse of like it's an agency and you tend to earn less in an agency than in the private sector. Okay, fine. I'm fine with 5K. I'm even fine with 10K. Like if I would get the response now that I would like be able to earn 60K, I wouldn't be so proactive. Like I would still, I think by now I would still try to change something in my situation, but it would certainly not be that urgent, so to say. So yeah, um, and at this point I don't even care anymore where I start working. I'm just taking the biggest bag. Like I don't want to like I want to get into that feeling where I comfortably can say I earn good amount of money and I think it's reasonable for the things I do because it's just really demanding right now. So find yourself a good like a reliable software developer with like experience, with 3 4 years experience. I mean there are good people out there, don't get me wrong, but the group is so small, like so utterly small, so like laughable small. Like there are those guys that like study IT, then you have to subtract those guys that just don't like they give up. Um, so like you can only look at those who have a degree basically. Then you have those who don't study this, but like me, just get into it. Fine, okay, but keep in mind the fact that you're a software developer and that you're working as a software developer doesn't necessarily make you good 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 software developer, right? Or a good what's the name? Arbeitnehmer. Uh, employee. Doesn't make you a good employee either. I mean, I've seen it directly. I've worked with not like I mean it was in the company I work for. We had a developer, like a guy, an employee, who was sort of good in what he was doing, but on a social level, he was like really like low-key uh, stepping outside of the range what is acceptable, so to say. So he was really awkward. No, awkward is the wrong word. It was really he was really pushing in some sense, and he was pushing in a negative way. So there were a couple of complaints coming in about this person, not the work, what he's doing, like how he works or what he produces, but the way how he behaves on in the office and with the other guys, like it was only the social aspect. And then paired with the fact that we are in the age of digitalization, there is no like after the COVID, like or still progressing through COVID, like you can't deny it anymore. Like everyone and everything has to be digital, made smart. Even like Germany is now getting a little bit more digitalized. So, and we're really bad at that normally. Um, like the demand is huge, and it will only get bigger like the years go on, because it's not only like creating the software, but actually also maintaining it. Um, and if there is a huge amount of software out there, um, you need you need guys who like know what they're doing with that and how they want like how they can extend it, how they can like add more value to the software. Yeah, there's so much to do. There's so much to do, and like the normal cases, it's actually again still the case, also in my company, that like we are basically taking almost everyone. Like come to us with the right mindset, um, and with a little bit of background, and we'll hire you no matter what. You don't need you don't need a degree, not at all. That's why I was also so confused about the like my last the thing I mentioned yesterday. Like I had such a good feeling, and I know that I know the market. If you let someone, if you let a potential employee get into the final round, then he has to make a huge oopsie, like a huge something in general has to make them doubt. Otherwise, if you've seen before that he's not able, like I've made a challenge, a coding challenge, and they saw it and they reviewed it, and I got to the next step. I got invited to the next session, to the next interview. So that makes me believe that my coding challenge itself was kinda okay. Like it was not horrible. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten to the next stage. So it can only be this last interview I did last Thursday. And I've done interviews before. I've been on the other side where I had to interview other potential employees. So I would say I have quite a bit of a feeling like how those interviews should um, what should happen, and I know when there are red flags basically. And for me, there was no red flag. And that's what still baffles me. I'm today to this day I'm not like I completely am confused about the like the nope we don't want you. And I know this for a fact that they are also like desperately searching, because a good friend of mine actually works there, and he said, well, we need front-end developers like urgently. And then you sit there in the final interview, and you sort of I think you sort of do okay, at least average. I think above average, to be honest, because I sort of got almost every question I had an answer for. Um, and then there's a no. It's a little bit sad because I really would have liked to work with my good friend again in the company. It was really like we already worked together one time, and it was a pleasure to work with him. But anyways, it is what it is, and my eyes were opened. I mean, I see the numbers now, and I see that like 70K, 75K is not a, like a huge amount of money. It's a totally demandable salary for my experience, for my position, for my age. Yeah, 20 minutes. Wow, I babbled 20 minutes. Okay. I'm gonna keep this one short. I think yes, that t tomorrow is planned anyways. So the big, like my long day, working, then going to motorbike session, then orchestra in the evening, and then like coming home late at 10 o'clock and sitting in front of the camera again and hopefully be a little bit more happy because I think if tomorrow goes well regarding my training session, my motorbike training session, then Saturday should be really doable. Really, really doable. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Peace.